Aspects of the investigation. Psychologists have done a lot of research on eyewitnesses to ensure that identification procedures are as fair as possible to the suspect or the accused. How witnesses are questioned or interviewed is an important topic discussed in Chapter 4. Here, we'll talk about how to help witnesses or victims recognize the criminal by his or her face or voice. Psychological research has shown that witness testimony is prone to mistakes, so it is important to develop fair ways to reduce the number of mistakes. Hypnosis is another part of criminal investigations that psychological research has looked at to try to cut down on mistakes. Many people don't know enough about hypnosis and what it can and can't do. Ear witness testimony. In many crimes, criminals talk, which means that witnesses may not be able to see the bad guys, but can hear them. Criminal psychologists need to work on voice identification as part of their training. The value of voice identification evidence. The Devlin report recommended that prosecutions based on a witness's identification of a suspect's voice, especially if the suspect is a stranger, should not go forward, or if they do, they should fail. In 1989, a group of well-known North American psychologists wrote an overview of ear witness identification. It may be possible to recognize a voice you do not know well enough for it to be useful in a police investigation. Unless more ecologically valid studies show otherwise, no case should be prosecuted solely based on identification evidence involving an unfamiliar voice. In 1998, Ray Bull wrote a paper for the British Academy of Forensic Sciences on ear witness testimony and voice recognition. In 1999, the National Court of Appeal wrote in its written decision that lawyers for the convicted man who was appealing his conviction had given the court that 1998 paper. Voice identification is harder than visual identification, and it's hard to identify a stranger's voice, even when there are good chances to listen to it, the court noted. Jurors, in this case, should be told that there is a greater chance that witnesses are wrong and that other evidence could corroborate their testimony. Conclusions. Psychologists have studied the psychology of witness testimony for more than 50 years. Still, only a few countries have changed their procedures for identifying people or their laws to consider what psychologists have learned. Real criminals may not be caught unless the police change their methods to match the findings of relevant psychological research.